Good evening, and welcome to the Albright Scholar for September 2019. My name is John Pankratz. I teach history at Albright, and each month it's my privilege to welcome BCTV viewers and residents of Greater Reading to take a glimpse inside our learning community up here on North 13th Street, to look at the work being done by teachers and students, and to think about its impact on all of us. Well, the school year has begun, and it's become a tradition on the Albright Scholar to remind residents of Greater Reading of some of the artistic and cultural events that are happening on campus and that are available to all of you. So as we talk about exciting events on campus, think about some that you want to put on your own cultural calendar. I could not be in better hands tonight than to have as my guest my dear friend, senior artist in residence in both the departments of music and theater, Jeffrey Lentz. Jeff?
It's my pleasure to be here. It wouldn't be September without a visit to the Albright Scholar.
There we go, there we go. David Tanner, director of the Center for the Arts, is a little bit under the weather. That sometimes happens at the begining of the semester. But he sends his regards, and you are absolutely welcome to be in touch with him. We're going to be using a crib sheet here, this highly attractive brochure, Universality Through the Arts. This is really the cultural calendar for the college coming up, and David has assembled it with his collaborators. And if you'd like your own copy, or if you'd like to receive email monthly installments about what's up in the arts at Albright, send an email to dtanner@albright.edu. As simple as that. Well, I've already been stimulated by some of the art and culture that we have going on campus. I'd like to start on page 10. We have the document cam ready to show you some of this. There are two exhibits up in the Friedman Gallery. They've both had openings and talks associated with them. A national juried show with mostly young but nationally prominent artists called Social Justice in the Misinformation Age. And it's very humorous and a little bit political and edgy work. That's in the main gallery now through the October 20th. And then in the project space, some really beautiful work by the Korean-American artist Yeonjin Kim. And she was talking about multimedia things, video, but also constructions out of found objects and that sort of thing. We have a whole set of other things coming up, and these were curated by Elena Coates for the Friedman Gallery.
It's also interesting to note that the juried exhibition, Social Justice in the Misinformation Age, was juried by Susan Kreil, who had the exhibition this time last year, and we're still considering issues of social justice again this year. There was so much to talk about and so much energy in that area in all of the arts last year that it's continued. Now it's morphed a bit, I think, in music and theater. But it's wonderful to see in this, and certainly opens up the door to so many important conversations in so many classrooms about the intersection of social justice and art.
I think that has to be a perennial question at a liberal arts college.
Absolutely.
So I'm so glad that all of our colleagues are taking this on and working with this.
And for me, I'm also, I love the fact that in the Friedman Gallery, there really are three spaces. There's a video space outside that sort of greets you before you go into those beautiful glass doors into the gallery itself. The gallery relatively recently has been restored to being this enormous space. For a long time, it was more of a cut-up space, but there is that sort of protected smaller room, the project space. And David and Elena have done such a great job as of late making use of that space and the juxtapositions of exhibitions that are going on create their own conversations. I love taking students from my creative process class, particularly it's the theater department's launching course, thinking about the relationship that you as a human being, maybe an artist, maybe a scientist, maybe a business person or a social scientist, what's your relationship with your creativity? And then where does that relationship then marry with the various arts? It's a course that we actually think could be taught in a number of different departments.
Oh, I think so.
Because everyone's creative in their sense. But for me, I meet with them in the second month of the semester after they've considered narrative structure with my colleague Matt Fotis, who's a playwright. They come with me and talk about the audience performer, or in this case, audience art relationship. And then they move on to our other colleague, Wayne Vedelson, to think about how design then takes what I do as a director and what the playwright has done, and how I can magnify what's going on with design. So in a way, the Friedman Gallery itself is a wonderful alternative space for us in the theater. And then last spring was actually an alternative space for the music department as well. There were some wonderful events with music with some of our colleagues in music as well.
Who knew that a cactus could be so resonant?
A cactus, a microphone, and a computer, and you're all set.
But I think your example is a good one, and I think our colleagues in other fields in political science and sociology,
oh my goodness, yeah,
certainly in history, could use the Friedman and its ongoing program of exhibits as a teaching space and as a teaching opportunity.
Yeah, and I think that's actually what happened. We weren't, with regard to the planning of events for this year, certainly in the performing arts as well. We have some new colleagues that have joined us this year that we'll talk about in a little bit. But the major conversation last year of social justice in theater, it spawned a series of smaller conversations about specific topics, and that's what I feel like we're getting a chance to explore this year. We're diving a little deeper into the subject matter, specific stories or points of view about social justice, and that's exciting to me.
It is.
As it was last year as well.
I think we'll talk about the theater since you bring it up.
Sure.
Last year was a pretty good year for the Domino Players in the Department of Theater at Albright College. One of our productions, directed by Julia Matthews, Lorraine Hansberry's A Raisin in the Sun, was awarded by the Kennedy Center College Theater Festival as the best production of a play, most outstanding production of a play in the United States.
Yeah.
That's the third time that Albright has received that honor, our small little school here up on North 13th Street, but just incredible work being done by you and your colleagues in that department. Raisin was really a wonderful show, but everything was wonderful last season. The devised piece that you and Cole created, Mosaic.
Yeah.
And then this wonderful production of Sweeney Todd in the spring as well.
And then Matt Fotis's play, the
America, the play about America.
Right.
Yeah.
So speaking of issues of justice, it was an extraordinary experience for us for the third time to be invited down to Washington D.C. to the Kennedy Center to receive this national recognition. We're so proud of our students and of our colleagues, and it's an extraordinary feat. We say, well, when people try to grapple with it, it's like, it's like Duke. We've won the NCAA again for the third time in 14 years, and 2 times in the past 4 years. But it's a testament, I think, it really is a testament to the way that we've created the curricular experience and the experiential learning opportunities that the theater, just like the music studios and the music rehearsal halls and just like the gallery, these are all laboratory experiences, right? The experiential learning that's going on in the classroom, and we get to put all the things that we talk about endlessly, the process. We get to put it to work, and it's we feel very. We're very blessed, to have wonderful colleagues to work with. But, we also have to say that we're very blessed to have an administration that supports what we're doing wholeheartedly, and that makes us feel even greater to know that the greater college, the board of trustees and the president and all of those people in the administration truly admire what we're trying to accomplish and what we're and the lives that we're changing in the audiences, but also for the students that are here to study with us as well. The other thing that I would just say about that is that going down to the Kennedy Center a third time and witnessing the event was a sort of life-changing experience for the students in Raise It in the Sun to set up, because there were 9 national awards that we were given, the top one sort of being winning the best production of a play in America in a college. There's also the best production of a musical and the best production of a new work. New work is sort of what we're known for. We're one of the few colleges in America that can say that for 8 years running, there has been, and it'll continue this year,
original pieces.
There'll be original works, original plays offered. That just doesn't happen on the undergraduate level. Certainly at a small liberal arts college. And that's the other thing, is that we're surrounded by universities when we're at the Kennedy Center, the University of this, the University of that, and Albright College. So we're the little engine that could.
Small but very mighty.
Yeah. So it's great. It feels great.
Well, I know a lot of people are going to come to see the first production of the season, Brandon Jacob Jenkins' Everybody. That's coming up on homecoming weekend.
Yeah, the end of September.
Less than 3 weeks.
Yeah. No, that's a production that's being directed by a senior student in our department, Joey Love, as his senior honors project. He's being mentored by Matt Fotis for that, and it's a play. These are the sorts of things that I love. This was a play that they read in class last spring, a relatively new play by an extraordinary young African American male playwright. He's always on the brink of a Pulitzer, seemingly every year, and
he's already won his MacArthur.
Yeah, right. So we already know he's a genius. But then to have the students say,
yes,
they've read this in class, it moved them beyond words, and they want to tackle it. They came to us and they said this is a piece that they want to do. That's what we dream about.
That's great.
And so that opens relatively soon. The nice thing about that also is that that will be the first set designed by our colleague in scenic design, who's here for at least the next 2 years, Dalia Al-Habili, who's come to us from Wake Forest, where she was doing a postdoc fellowship, but her training was at Carnegie Mellon University in scenic design, and she's just a superhuman being.
She really is.
And a great collaborator and a great team member. She's teaching our senior seminar class. She's teaching the first level of our theater history class. She's great. And then now also we have Billy Balmer has come back. Some of our audience members will remember Billy in multiple productions. He was actually in the first production, Waiting for Godot, that went to the Kennedy Center way back in 2007. Yeah. But Bill has come back to us as our new technical director, as Wayne Vettleson begins to do a phased retirement of and well-earned phasing out, so to have that fresh energy here with Dalia and Billy, supporting the work of these young students is extraordinary.
Yeah. So much to look forward to.
Yeah.
You yourself are directing The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime.
Yes, in November.
A play that received a lot of attention on Broadway.
Yep, on London and Broadway, Mark Hayden's novel about a young man, who lives under the umbrella of autism, and his journey to find out who killed a neighbor's dog, and it takes him on a journey of life discovery that he could never have imagined. It's a magical play. I just came from a design meeting with Dahlia earlier tonight, and I'm so excited for us to be able to. If only we had the $11 million budget that they had on Broadway, but we don't need it.
Is that akin to our audience?
Yes, it is. But in the meantime, it's great for us to creatively find the, ways to solve the scenic challenges
Exactly.
and the sense of magic that's there in this journey of this young person. And it's a wonderful play.
Then we go back, about 4 centuries
Yeah.
to Calderón de la Barca and Julia Matthews, who's spending so much of her time now in the provost's office as an associate dean, back on stage directing this great classic of Spain's golden age, Life is a Dream.
Yeah, it's again, this is a play that we could easily have done last year as
Right.
well on our social justice season. I would say if there is a sort of softer theme to everything this year, it really is resilience in the face of injustice. So these are stories about characters who find themselves having their resilience tested. And part of that also is there's a interesting sort of play on reality and illusion in all of these plays as well. And certainly, in a way, the Calderón piece is sort of the grandfather of all this this conversation, this theatrical conversation of reality versus illusion as well. Again, it'll be supported by our team, our artistic team as well, and that actually opens in February, in mid-February.
Yeah. And then there's going to be a short play festival, some of it by young professional playwrights, some by Albright students, directed by Matt Fotis.
Yeah, this is a wonderful experience. We, again, what I'm sort of hoping is that students that have written pieces in Matt's playwriting class, or even I suppose in the screenwriting class, adapting it for the stage, that they will submit these plays for consideration on the main stage, which allows them the wonderful experience of drafting their way toward a piece that is sort of, as we call it, sort of stage worthy.
Right.
Which is an important threshold for our students to understand. There's student projects going on all the time, and we generously ask the students at Albright and the community as well to come, but they come for free. Nothing's necessarily completely finished. Everything's sort of a workshop level.
Workshopping.
But when you put something on the main stage, it's got its stamp that it's ready for an audience, and to have a student experience. You're going to be asking people, to give a small amount of money and their time and attention to this work. It makes them, raise the bar ever so much higher, which I think is an important thing, and it's something again that is not always done at the undergraduate level, and so our students are rather fortunate.
I think so too. We're going to flip the page because you are serving as the chair of the Department of Music, Jeff.
I am in my spare time.
You do have a couple new colleagues.
I have, yes,
Yeah.
some wonderful new colleagues. So we did 2 national searches last year.
Yeah.
To first, we welcome Kevin Dibble as our new director of choral activities. He replaces, speaking of long-serving faculty, Adley Binger, who was with us for 25 glorious years, took what was just a small group of maybe 15 or 16 students and grew that into 5 incredible choirs over 25 years. And so Kevin gets to pick up the mantle of that and run with it with his fresh ideas. And it's been exhilarating. So I'm also the accompanist for the concert choir as well. So I get a bird's eye view of this new way of working. It's very different, you know what I mean? And I'm learning a lot, which is great. You're never too old to learn new things, right? So our first concert is, I think, October the 5th.
Yes.
And in the past, this would have been a Pops concert.
Right.
But this is called A Song in Our Hearts. And it really is, Kevin was talking about this today in rehearsal, that this is more of a personal journey, from a sense of the human journey of we're born, we come to know things, we begin to question ourselves and our identities, and we go out and have a journey of life, and hopefully then at the end we sort of return, there's no place like home, wiser, and more empathetic. And so it was great to hear him talk today about why these particular pieces were chosen, why they're in the order that they're chosen, to be performed in, and we look forward to that. But then also we've got Mark Lamano and his wife Kelly Powers, both joining us. Mark is our director of applied commercial music. So we finally have a full-time person running the instrumental part of our program, which is an essential thing for us in order to move our music industry studies program forward in the area of artistry. So there's every single department meeting, we're talking about restructuring our curriculum and reevaluating where music fits into the general education picture at Albright. And certainly as many performing opportunities as possible. So there's a new commercial music ensemble. There's a new rap collective which has 24 students, which is huge for a new ensemble. We have the returning symphonic band. We have the string chamber orchestra with the Sunday Symphonia that you're a vital part of, John. And then we've reimagined the jazz ensemble, the Big Cat Jazz Ensemble, as a series of smaller combos.
Oh, nice.
So maybe it should be called Big Cats.
or Many Kittens.
Or Many Kittens, yeah, right. That's what it's given birth to, yeah.
And the lovely thing is that all of the musical events at Albright are free.
Yes.
And open to the public.
Yeah.
So we hope that many of you will come. And then we'll flip one more page, and then we'll almost be out of time. At Albright, the fashion department is part of the arts.
Absolutely.
And student creations are shown on their own, but they're also integrated into the juried student show at the Friedman Gallery.
Or our president
as
is
well.
wearing,
Or our president wearing fashion. Our previous show earlier this summer was featured those garments. But another new colleague, I'm happy to say, Joycelyn Burdett, Dr. Joycelyn Burdett from The Ohio State University is coming in our fashion department as a historian of costume, and I think we'll add something there. And then, of course, incredible student energy. There's a Business of Fashion Forum. The fashion magazine, the Fashion Lion, is going to have a release party in December. There'll be a fashion alumni panel, of course, our graduates who are out there accomplishing a lot in the world of design and merchandising. And then the annual fashion showcase, the fashion show. And
which is
at the end of the year.
It's always one of the last things that we do in the season to look forward to.
Yeah, it's sort of a kickoff. So here we see music, theater, fashion, and the visual arts. All rolled up into one handy booklet and one handy half hour. I don't know how we did it, but
we did.
We gave people at least a hint of some of the treasures that are up here on campus and open to so many of you. We hope to see more of you in the year to come. And we'll see you again in October for another edition of The Albright Scholar. Good night.